going to show you our leverage pay grid. We're going to show you a little bit better how to explain it, how it works. Then we're going to go to the income calculator, and I'm going to show you a strategy that I would suggest that you can use to build your business with. A strategy. How to think. The name of my speech is How to Think Successfully. By learning, this is not about the product now, this is about the compensation. I think to recruit somebody really, really good, you ought to at least be able to explain a little bit about the compensation, don't you think? You ought to know just a little bit about it. So, many of you have probably seen this brochure, I'll call it, piece of paper. We got the 30, the 35, the 45, the 55, and then you become an RVP, and you're at 70. Now, I want to stop and tell you something. Once you get to 70 and you're an RVP, whose agency is it? Yours. And when you get up in the morning and look in the mirror, who has to take full responsibility for your success or your failure? You do. If you're an RVP, you're an RVP. Look in the mirror and take responsibility and go run your business. But at the same token, Cassandra, I love what you had to say yesterday. One of my favorite speeches I've ever heard is, I'd rather be a successful RM than a dud RVP. There's nothing worse and embarrassing and humiliating is you got an agency and you don't even know how to run it, right? That's just the reality of the world. And then beyond the RVP, you got SVP, MVP, all the way up to CEO. Okay, bunch of numbers, right? Totally confusing, right? And then you got these things called generational overrides. If I'm an RVP and I'm working with Wayne and Wayne makes RVP eventually, I've kind of now got an agency. Let's say it's the restaurant business. I open a restaurant, Wayne's working in there, we're working together, all of a sudden he opens his own restaurant, but I get a little piece of the profit of that restaurant. We're the franchise type business, right? So I recruit Wayne, Wayne comes in, we're working together, I get a little piece of his restaurant. All of a sudden Tom's working in Wayne's restaurant, Tom's good enough. You better be good enough to open your own restaurant, right? You need to know how to open the door, cook, pay people, the whole deal, order food, waitress, janitor, the whole thing, right? If you don't know all that stuff to run a restaurant, you're probably going to what? But all of a sudden now, Wayne gets a piece of Tom's restaurant, but so do I. I'm building a chain of restaurants. I'm building a chain of distributions. We pay overrides on 6 generations. And if you use multiplication, if you get 3 that get 3 that get 3 that a couple of times, you've got all of a sudden a string of hundreds of restaurants. You have a chance to build an empire if Wayne, when he opens his restaurant, if Wayne opens his restaurant, he doesn't know what the hell he's doing, what's going to happen to that restaurant? But if we work together and Wayne gets really good and he opens this restaurant, is mega successful, and then he teaches Tom how to open one that's mega successful, we build an empire, right? And so today I'm going to show you that if you do that, what's in it for your family? The numbers are astronomical if you learn to play the game the right way. And you're playing for big stakes here. The stakes are huge. So that's the first thing I wanted to show you. This confusing piece of paper, but these are the promotional guidelines. Then I'm going to click that off. So we take a look at this slide, and you got the 30, 35, 45, 55. Then you got the RVP. Everything centers around the RVP. You're either an RVP or you're an RVP in training. Really, that's really the bottom line. But everything circles around the RVP level. And here's how our commissions actually work. So I really want you to pay attention, because learning what we're going to go over now, if you can learn how to explain this, you're way ahead of the game. So Wayne becomes an RVP, and his commission level is what? 70% on the IUL products, correct? And Wayne and Tom work together until Tom is capable of running his own restaurant, right? Tom opens up, and now Tom has 70, but Wayne gets what from Tom's restaurant? 8%. That's not bad from Tom's restaurant, right? That can provide a little bit of income security. And if we do it right, Tom now knows how to cook good and operate the whole thing. And all of a sudden, he teaches Teresa. Teresa gets really good. She opens her restaurant. And all of a sudden, now Wayne's looking around, and he's got 8 on Tom's restaurant, and he's got 3 on Teresa's restaurant. And these are successful restaurants. And Wayne's building a little bit of security. And on, Teresa eventually gets Herman. And if you look here, there's 6 generations of overrides, right? So initially in our compensation plan, there's 6 generations of overrides. So here's a question I want to ask all of you. On a personal sale, what does Wayne get paid? 70. How many total points are on the grid that Wayne can possibly make money from? Nope. So far. 87 so far. So Wayne doesn't really have a 70% contract. So far, he's got 87 potential points from which he can make income from, correct? Nothing too confusing about that so far, right? The only thing you got to think of is, will you use the other 17 points? Are you an RVP capable of producing other RVPs? Because you can't produce another successful RVP until you are one of them yourself, right? I mean, you can't teach somebody to cook if you don't know how to cook. Now, we keep going. So there's 87. Now, here's where the leverage comes in. This is the magic. But it's not magic, it's numbers. All of a sudden, Wayne's got this thing moving, and he gets a call from Ron Blumenkemper. Wayne, congratulations. You've made it to senior vice president. You get a 3% raise on all your restaurants, down to not just the 7th level, to the infinity level. So I'm going to ask you something now. So what was Wayne's raise? 3 points. On whose agency? On his. How about on Tom's? Does he get 3 more on Tom's? How about on Teresa's? How about on Herman's? How about on the guy 50 levels deep that he's never met? 87 plus 3 is what? 90, right? So FEG is paying out 90 so far, because that 3 points goes to one person. His name's Wayne. However, now listen to me carefully. However, if Wayne builds down 7 levels, he has an opportunity to be paid from how many points? 111. That's called leverage, everybody. The 3 only goes to one person. Now, if Tom gets to SVP, Wayne would go back to the 832221, and on Tom's group, he would get that 3. So I'm going to give you another question. What if what if Tom goes all the way to the top, becomes a CEO, and Wayne doesn't do too much? Is Wayne cut out? Wayne still gets the 832211, right? So here's what's kind of cool. You can recruit somebody that passes you up and still get paid 6 generations on their business. Is that fair? Does the rest of the industry do that? The rest of the industry has no idea what they're doing when it comes to marketing. Okay, now, time passes. Wayne continues to open up more restaurants, successful restaurants. Just opening up a restaurant that never succeeds, that's really in vain in a way, right? You're not really accomplishing too much. But if you open up a successful restaurant that learns how to open up the next successful restaurant, and all of a sudden Ron Blumenkemper, wait, I got good news. You're an MVP. 3 more points. Now I want you to know something. 3 more points doesn't sound like much. But I'm going to say this. If you learn to do the business the right way, that 3 points is $400,000 pay increase. When's the last time you got one of those? The whole thing we're talking about here is building it right with strength and not weak. Strong RVP, weak RVP. Good restaurants with good food and service. A restaurant you walk in, they don't even know you're there, right? There's a difference. Quality. And then we push this a couple, let's go back. Now, so Wayne goes from 70 to 73 to 76, but think about this. What does Wayne get paid on Tom's business now? 14. What does Wayne get paid on Teresa now? 3 to 9. Isn't that like called tripling your income? Who trained Teresa? Tom. But because Wayne taught Tom the right way, and he knows what he's doing, he was able to pass the proper knowledge on to Teresa. If Wayne didn't train Tom right and he opens that restaurant, he goes out of business, what good is it going to do? You get it? So if Wayne goes down 7 generations, I'll ask 87 plus 3, SVP 3, 3 more is 93. We pay out 112. We're through 93 of the 112 so far. Get it? But Wayne, how many points do you have a chance to make income from here if you're 7 levels deep? 135. Who thinks that's a decent contract? Okay? Now, is that incredible? We pay out 112, but Wayne has a chance to make income from 135. That's called very, very unique, right? And let's say someday Wayne gets the SENVP, 84 points, a decent contract industry-wide. That's a decent contract. But don't tell me you just got 84. You got 84, but you got 22 on Tom and 17 on Teresa, and on down the line. And Wayne, if you're 7 levels deep, how many points are on the table? Is that a good contract? So understand. So the key to what I'm talking about here is what? Building strength. Exactly what you're doing in Boston. I'm so excited about you guys. Thank you. We need examples of people doing this the right way, because when you're an RVP and you know what you're doing and you produce other successful RVPs, you're going to change your life, their life, the consumer's life. Everybody wins. Now, we kind of get it, right? I've explained this to some people 10 times, they still don't get it. So if you don't get it, you're normal. But you can at least get a little bit of it, right? Kind of get it? Okay, now, let's say you sell an Anaco term. 15-year term has less commissions in it than IUL. So at the 70 level, it's only 65.1. And there's something called a point factor, and I don't want to make it too confusing, but 70 times the point factor of 93 is 65.1. First generation used to be 8, it's 7.44. 8 times the point factor of 0.93 is 7.44. A little bit confusing. You don't got to worry about it. Our computer knows it all. I kind of know it a little bit. I got all these mathematicians that have built this software for us. Guess what? It works. So you get paid the same way, whether it's an IUL or a term. The commission levels are going to be a little bit different because the product itself pays a little bit less. What about annuities? Okay? Most annuity products have about total 8-9% total that the insurance company pays to IMOs like an FEG. But we've got a leverage pay system. So on this particular F&G annuity, Prosperity, issue age 0 to 75, the point factor is 8.18. So you take 70 times 8.18%, it comes out to 5.73%. So if you sell an annuity and you're a VP, you're at 5.73. So let's talk about the annuities, Wayne. You make a sale, you're at 5.73 on this annuity. But how many points are on the table so far for Wayne? I know Herman. Okay, next. It works the same. SVP, there's a 0.24% raise. How many levels down? No. How many levels down? Infinity. These are infinity overrides. So if you go down just 7 levels, Wayne, you got 9. How can we pay 9 when the company's only paying us 8.5? Because we're not, you can earn income as if there's 9, but we're paying 7.11 plus 0.24 on a leveraged system. It's all math, guys. It's all good. Who said that? It's all good. This is a revolutionary pay system, and you don't have to know exactly how it works. The computers know how it works. And when you get a statement, if you sold that product, $100,000 case, what would Wayne's commission be? $5,730. If Tom sold it, what would Wayne's commission be? $650. If Teresa sold it, what would Wayne get? $250. But look at this. When Wayne gets his promo, he goes on Teresa, he goes from 250 to 490. Almost double, right? Well, if Wayne could get to SENVP, he's got 1,790 on when Tom makes the same sale, and Teresa makes the same sale, it's 1,390. He might not even know Teresa. The key to this thing is if Tom is strong enough, he produces Teresa, not me, right? I can't do everything, but I can do one thing. I can be a strong base shop, and I can produce strong first generations, and after that, it's up to the system. Does that make sense?